Welcome back. Now, the Mzansi Young Farmers Indaba 2024 edition just concluded in SA. It brought together Africa's most prominent young farmers and agripreneurs. Now, the three-day event promised an exhilarating lineup of Africa's foremost young agricultural minds, alongside no less than 50 agriculture-related exhibitions and 6 masterclasses. Now, Jessica Mundi Uira's program coordinator at the Namibia Media Trust was one of the panelists at the Indaba, diving in the role of African media in shaping narratives on climate change, agriculture and food security. Well, she now joins us on Zoom to tell us what Namibia brought to the table and also give us that is a roundup of the Indaba. Good evening, Jessica, and welcome to the Daily Roundup.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, to start off our interview, Jessica, maybe just talk to us about the role that you think of African media. How can it evolve in addressing climate change, agriculture and food security issues in Namibia?
Before I dive into that, I just want to make a note that on 3 May, we will be celebrating World Press Freedom Day, right? And this year's theme is on a press for the climate and journalism in the face of the environmental crisis. So the whole Indaba was the session, particularly that I took part in, was to address and basically align ourselves with the theme of this year's World Press Freedom Day. Now, the role of African media in addressing climate change, agriculture and food security in Namibia is evolving towards becoming more proactive and influential. Agriculture is growing in Africa, and media outlets are increasingly recognizing the interconnectedness of the issues and their importance in shaping public perception and also driving policy discussions. Now, through accurate reporting and insightful analysis and impactful storytelling, I believe African media are playing a crucial role in raising awareness about the challenges faced by Namibia and Africa at large when it comes to agriculture issues. And these areas, as well as advocating for sustainable solutions. By highlighting the experiences of local communities and amplifying the voices of experts and basically cultivating dialogue, the media are contributing to a more informed and engaged citizenship that is better equipped to address this pressing issue. We regard the media as the fourth estate and basically the bridge between the citizens and those in office.
All right. Now, Jessica, perhaps just share with us any specific initiatives or projects that are undertaken by the Namibia Media Trust to raise awareness about these issues.
Okay, not too long ago, beginning of Feb, we had a workshop on environmental reporting here in Namibia where we invited 12 Namibian journalists. July from NBC was one of the participants at this workshop. So the Namibia Media Trust has undertaken various initiatives and projects to raise awareness about climate change, agriculture and food security issues in the country. This includes, as mentioned, journalism training workshops, focusing on environmental reporting, investigative journalism, and the root causes of food insecurity, data-driven analysis of agriculture trends, and multimedia storytelling to engage diverse audiences in the country. Additionally, the Trust collaborates with stakeholders such as the GIZ office here in Namibia and other international organizations to amplify voices advocating for sustainable development practices and to promote evidence-based interventions. We recently put out a call for policy sprints where we allow Namibians to apply, get a certain grant so that they can focus on how they can advance and promote agriculture issues in the country. And we will be doing community dialogues as from May, just to ensure that those in the marginalized communities are also informed about what's happening in the agriculture sector.
All right. Now, in your opinion, what would you say are the key challenges faced by Namibia in achieving when it comes to food security, and how can the media contribute to overcoming these challenges?
This, I think, is a difficult question because I'm not an expert when it comes to this. But I believe the key challenges we face in the country in achieving food security include climate change impacts, limited access to resources, and socio-economic disparities. The media can contribute to overcoming these challenges by raising awareness, obviously, about the root causes of food insecurity and by amplifying the voices of affected communities and holding policy makers accountable. When we did the training in February, we did it in Swakopmund, and we went on field trips. We went as far as into the settlement called Utusep, where people live under harsh climate conditions but are doing crop farming. So these people live in the Namib Desert among the dunes where there is lack of rain, lack of electricity, and they're under harsh climate conditions, but they are able to do crop farming. Through investigative journalism and data-driven analysis and storytelling, as mentioned earlier, the media can shed light on innovative solutions and advocate for policy reforms and mobilize public support for sustainable agriculture practices. And we felt the need to take this journalist into those settlements so that they can see what's happening on the ground, because you can only report on something if you understand it and if you're part of it, because that then allows you to ask the right questions.
All right, now that's right, Jessica. How do you ensure that diverse perspectives, including those of small-scale farmers and marginalized communities, are represented in media coverage on agriculture and food security in the country?
Erica, I think to ensure that diverse perspectives, it should include those of small-scale farmers and marginalized communities. We should ensure that they are represented in media coverage on agriculture and food security in Namibia. We should take away the focus from just focusing on central-based activities, but really go out into the rural communities, address people from Yochungwe, people in the northern parts of Namibia. I believe the media outlets must actively seek out and amplify those voices, and that's why Namibia Media Trust is doing the community dialogues, just to hear from the people in marginalized communities about what they face and how we can support them. This can be achieved through inclusive reporting practices. We should ensure that environmental bits should be included in our everyday reporting, and not just when something happens, not just when a flood happens, or not just when we don't have rain, but it should be a practice that should be practiced every day, every now and then. I believe community engagement initiatives go into the communities, have conversations with the farmers, understand what challenges they face and how we can assist them, basically hear from them, and partnerships with grassroots organizations by providing a platform for marginalized voices to be heard. The media can help challenge stereotypes and bridge the divides and establish greater empathy and understanding within the society. It's a thing of living as an ethnologist and basically reporting from a perspective of being in the community and acting as a farmer, understanding the issues that these people go through, and really just being their voice, because they can't do this without the media. We need to put out the information in order for them to even get funding, because that's one of the challenges that they face.
All right. Now, lastly, Jessica, as a program coordinator, what do you envision that is for the next steps for media advocacy and awareness raising efforts on climate change and food security in the country?
As the program coordinator at the Namibia Media Trust, if still granted the opportunity, and if by God's grace I'm still here in the long run, the next steps and priorities for media advocacy and awareness raising efforts on climate change and food security in Namibia may include expanding outreach efforts to reach new audiences, to establish partnerships with relevant stakeholders, involve the Ministry of Environment if possible, and leveraging on digital platforms to amplify messaging and engage diverse communities. Additionally, ongoing capacity building initiatives for journalists. I believe we constantly need to capacitate Namibian journalists as we evolve, because something new happens every day, and we need to ensure that we are on the ball and we are on track with the trends that happened nationally, regionally, and globally. And media professionals can help ensure continued excellence in reporting and storytelling on these critical issues, driving positive change and empowering communities to take action. In my personal capacity, I advocate for SDGs to ensure that as a whole and as a citizen of Namibia, I contribute to the achievement of sustainable development goals. So the little we do, even this interview right now, you putting this Indaba on the spot, that's amplifying and making people aware that farmers are initially also important. I always say, what is a ministry without its people? What is the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment without farmers? What is the Ministry of Health without health workers? So we need to basically just ensure that these things are amplified on a larger scale and that our voices are heard and we are able to tell stories of those marginalized communities.
Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for joining us. That is here on the Daily Roundup and just giving us an update on that is the 2024 Indaba Young Farmers edition.
You're welcome, Erica. Thank you so much for having me and for always granting a platform for us to basically put out this information.
All right. Now, that was Program Coordinator Jessica Mundi Kuiras just talking to us about the just ended Mzansi Young Farmers Indaba 2024 edition. Stay with us. We'll be right back.